In the previous video, if you haven't caught it yet, I spoke about eight key strategies that I think are relatively easy but also lucrative to follow for budding property investors or even property investors that have been doing it for a while, have done the buy-to-let, have done the HMOs. But then I talk about the other six strategies that you can then move up to then scale your wealth by doing more of the higher value development. And so I spoke about vanilla buy-to-let, HMOs, title splitting, which is one of the main lucrative part that I've found in the last 5 years, where you're buying blocks of flats and converting them and releasing a quite large amount of value. But more importantly, you keep the passive income. So in my position, in my situation, rather I should say, I don't sell, so I keep all of those leasehold under my own group structure, and I rent them for passive income. Yes, I forego some of the kind of large payouts if you were to sell them, but in terms of perennial income, these income will keep on going for 20-30 years. So I don't take the payout on day one, but I will take it over 20 years. Then I talked about commercial conversion, buy and flip by adding simple values like side extension and loft extensions. Spoke about rent to rent, service accommodation, and buying land with seeking planning permission and building. So those were the kind of 8 strategies that I talked about. In this video, I'm really going to focus on some of the tactics that I follow, and I would advise people who are getting into it or looking at different ways of how they conduct their business in property investment should look into. So first one, in terms of tactics basically is how you do it. Strategy is what you do. So I've spoken about the 8 strategies of what to do. Now I'm going to talk about how you do them and how I do them. So first one is, buying assets that are undervalued, so below market value. So really, if something is worth 100,000, you really need to be picking it up about 70,000, 75,000, so that then you can add, say, 5,000 to 7,000 pound worth of value to it, and it's worth then 100, 110,000. So you have to make sure that you're buying below market value. I cannot stress this high enough. You've got to make money on the way in. There is plenty of deals out there. If you haven't found them, you're not, you're not searching wide enough. But also, more importantly, you should not be buying just because you're ready and there's a deal that's come up this week that you need to buy. You have to stop yourself from doing that. You've got to find the right true below market value, and it has to be significantly below the market value, so that when you add some money of your own to develop that value, you are generating decent profit to it. So many times I'm coaching people and people say, oh, I've been offered and I've been accepted to buy this house, and I'm really delighted. And in one scenario, I evaluated somebody's potential purchase, and he was almost paying £40,000 more what the market in that area demanded, and he was then so pleased with himself because he's tried for 8 months looking for a place and he's been accepted to buy this by the estate agent. You can understand what the challenge is here. He was quickly advised not to do that. So buy below market value, and then the idea is, you buy a refurb, recycle your cash, remortgage, and then you rent. So that's kind of the key 5 elements: buy, refurb, recycle, remortgage, and rent. So BRRRR. So everybody loves a good acronym. So that's the first thing: buy below market value and do these steps. There's another tactic that I employ quite a lot, which is exchange with delayed completion. So this is where I will buy currently. It's December 2020. I'm buying 2 places as we speak right now. Below market value, but also in very bad conditions. One of them has got no kitchen, no bathroom, so it has to be bought cash. The other one has been inhabited for 45 years and not been renovated. I think the electrics are 50 years old, so there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. In both scenarios, I've agreed a below market value price. One of them was off the market and direct to vendor. One of them is within the estate agent, so it can be done with the estate agent as well, as long as they understand what that is. And the idea is, in these 2 scenarios, I've put in 10% deposit, so I exchange with the sellers, the listers, so they know that I won't pull out, they won't pull out either. I've got the guarantee. Then I ask for, in both scenarios, one for 4 weeks key undertaking, and another one 6 weeks key undertaking. The idea that I can go in and actually over this period renovate the house for 4 or 6 weeks, and make sure that that house is ready for when my surveyor comes out and actually values that block of flats in one scenario, or in the other scenario, in this case, a 3-bedroom house, to the value that I think it is. So the tactic here is exchange with delayed completion. It's not rocket science, but you need a solicitor who understands it, you need a surveyor who understands, the estate agent who understands it, because they need to sell it to the sellers, and then you need to be able to also be very clear about how you sell it to the estate agents as well. So, but it's a very good tactic, so I don't tie up all my cash into 1 or 2 projects, but I can actually use the same cash in lumps of deposits, I guess, in exchanges, and then I can get those houses done up and actually improve. So I'm not wasting time waiting for either using bridging finance to be able to buy those houses given the condition, because I was not going to be able to get a mortgage, or I'm not also wasting time. So by the time I complete, the house is ready.